Welcome to Jason in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be making pepperoni pizza. First thing we're going to do is set our rack on the top level in the oven with either a pizza stone or I have a pizza steel, which I'm using today. You can also use an upside down sheet pan if you can take high heat. So we want to do that, position our oven like that, and then we're going to turn our heat up to 500 on the oven. You want to leave about an hour time to heat up to make sure the oven and your steel or your stone is nice and hot for making pizza. Alright, to make our pizza dough, I've got a 1/4 cup of warm water, and I'm going to put a whole package of yeast in there. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of honey. There we go. And we're going to take a whisk, a little whisk, and we're going to whisk that up. And we're going to wait for this to bloom. Take about 5 minutes before it's ready. And while that's blooming, we can get together the rest of our ingredients. There we go. In my food processor, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. In another measuring cup, I've got 3/4 cup of room temperature water. I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of salt that I've stirred together to dissolve the salt. Now a tip, if you want to make sure your honey comes off of your tablespoon easy, measure your oil first and then measure your honey, and you'll have a little bit of residual oil in your tablespoon. Then it comes off easily into your other measuring cup where you dissolve your yeast. Alright, our yeast has got foamy, so that means it's good. And we can start adding all the ingredients together now. So I'm going to start my food processor. I only have 2 speeds on this one, low and high. So I'm going to put it on high, and we're going to mix all the ingredients together. Make sure you mix up your oil and water again, just to make sure everything's completely whisked together. Make sure you've got your top off of your food processor as well, so that way your liquid can get down to your flour. And here we go. Alright, when your dough balls up around the side, it's ready to go. We're going to take our dough and put it on a floured work surface. Now we're going to knead it just a few times just to make it smooth. Just go back and forth with your hand. If you need to, you can use 2 hands. You're just wanting to smooth it up. Okay. Then we're going to fold it in on itself. To make it tight on the top. Okay. Then we're going to check the bottom. We're going to make sure we have a seam here. So we're going to tighten it up, seal it up. We're going to roll it again. Check it again. And there we go, we got our pizza dough. Now we gotta let that rest for about 30-45 minutes. You want it to double in size. You can put it in a oiled bowl with a saran wrap or a lid on it, or you can just leave it out on the counter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flour the counter again here on the edge. Going to put our dough here on the side. So there's our dough there on the side. And what I'm going to do is take a damp towel so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to put it over the top. Okay. So when that doubles in size, we'll be back. Alright, now we're going to make our pizza sauce. I've taken a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. You're not going to need that much for 2 pizzas, but that's the smallest one I could find at the grocery store. Sometimes I can find the smaller ones, but I couldn't this time. So I've went ahead and put it in a 32-ounce deli container. You can do this right in the can if you want to. And you're not going to use all the sauce, so you can just put the lid on it, label it, and you're good to go for the next time you make pizza. Or if you have leftover sauce, put it in your pasta. But to make the sauce, we're going to put a couple pinches of kosher salt. We're going to put some dried basil. This is all to taste. Don't really measure. And we're going to put some oregano. And we're going to take about 3 cloves or so of small garlic. Put that in there through your garlic press, or you could mince it up. Scrape it off. Right, make sure you get all the garlic back down in there. Scrape it off again. Alright, then we stir it up. You could put crushed red pepper flakes in here if you want. I'm not going to do that this time. Make sure you stir it up really well. And that's it, that's your pizza sauce. Tastes good. And that's ready now. Alright, now our dough is ready. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it in half. Just take a dough scraper, you can take a knife, whatever you have. Let's cut it down the middle. To create 2 separate doughs. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make these into balls. Just fold it back in on itself. And roll it around. Probably pop some bubbles too from the yeast. Alright, there's one ball. Do the same thing with the second one. Twist it and tighten it. You want to try and get it as smooth as you can on the top. Okay. Finish the bottom. And again. Here we go. We got our 2 dough balls now. You can let this sit again and rise again, but you can use it now. This is a basic pizza dough. Normally, when I make pizza now, I let it rest at least a day in the refrigerator, because the time that it takes to grow gives you more flavor. So the longer it takes, the more flavor your dough is going to have. Alright, we're ready to make our pizza now. On top of my stove, I've got a sheet pan lined with a rack. I've got a plate, and I've got my dough scraper. All right, so we got our dough still covered until we're ready to use it. We've got our pizza sauce ready to go. We've got our cheese. I grated some whole milk, low moisture mozzarella that you can find in your deli case at the grocery store. And I've also got some fontina cheese that I've grated as well and mixed it together with the mozzarella. You can use whatever cheese you like, but I find that whole milk mozzarella is the best, and then the fontina just adds a little bit different flavor to it. But always, always, always grate your own cheese. So much better flavor, and it melts so much better. And then I've got some pepperoni. I've been doing this the past couple times. I'll buy a stick of pepperoni and I slice it by hand myself. You can use pre-sliced pepperoni or use whatever pizza toppings you like. I've also got a shaker that I have some semolina flour in. You can use regular flour. When I first started making pizzas years ago at home, I was using cornmeal because that's what I saw other people using, but now I don't think anybody uses cornmeal anymore unless you like that texture on the bottom of your pizza. I'm going to shake some semolina on the pizza peel. You can use semolina and flour if you'd like. This is just to prevent the pizza from sticking. And yes, I do put a lot, but I want to make sure that that doesn't stick. So now we're going to take our pizza dough and we're going to push it out. Now we take our sauce and a spoon. You can use a ladle if you'd like. Put some dollops of your sauce down. And you just spread it out with the bottom of the spoon. Go up to the edge, or as close to the edge as you like. I like to go pretty close to the edge. You don't want it too saucy, but just enough to kind of coat the bottom. Before I was using tomato sauce, I used to make these pizzas with just olive oil and then season the crust with oregano, basil, garlic powder, salt, whatever. If you like it that way. That's the way my son liked it for years, and then I started using tomato sauce, and we've been doing it this way ever since. Alright, then we take our cheese and mix it around. Just enough to cover. I mean, of course, if you like your pizza with more cheese, you're welcome to put more. But I find that if you put just enough to cover, it's enough. Plus, you got to remember with your toppings, you don't want your pizza to be too heavy either. Alright, now we're going to put down our pepperoni. We always put meat on our pizza because Jason, our son, he doesn't like vegetables. So we usually just put meat, usually just pepperoni, but I have made sausage before, or used Italian sausage put on here, or a mixture of both. Just use whatever toppings you like. When I make my sausage, all I do is get some, you can use already made sausage that you buy at the grocery store, that's fine, Italian sausage, but I'll get some ground pork and I'll just mix in the seasonings and kind of make my own sausage without actually grinding it. And that works well too. Then you just put little crumbles on top of your pizza. Alright, now that we got everything covered, we're going to pick it up and we're going to kind of slide it. You want to make sure it moves. If it doesn't move and you got stickage, then you gotta lift up the pizza and throw some more semolina or flour under there, or else you'll be in trouble when you get to the oven. All right, we're gonna open the oven and we're gonna pull out the rack, and we're gonna slide our pizza onto the steel, kind of shimmy it and pull it. And we're going to push it back under, put it in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the oven and I'm going to turn on the broiler. And this way the pizza cooks from the top and the bottom at the same time, so it cooks faster. And it kind of will give you, it will kind of replicate using a pizza oven a little bit with the char that you get on the top and the bottom. So we'll wait for a few minutes and we'll see if we need to turn it or move it around in the oven a little bit under the broiler, and it won't take long at all. All right, let's take a peek and see where we're at. It's looking really good. I'm going to leave it in there just for a little bit longer. All right, let's take another peek. What I'm going to do is take the pizza and put it here on our rack on top of our sheet pan, so that way the crust does not get soggy. I'm going to turn off the broiler and I'm going to pull out this rack a little bit more, as far as it'll go. And what I'm going to do is dust off that extra semolina. All right, and close it back up. If you don't dust that off, it'll burn and then your smoke alarms will be going off, and you don't want that. So I'm going to turn the oven back on. Put it back up to 500. And while we're waiting for the oven to heat back up, we're going to make our second pizza. All right, we're going to make our second pizza. Same thing. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of semolina or flour on our peel. We're going to get our pizza dough that we kept covered. And we're going to push it out with pads of our fingers. And we're going to pick it up, kind of pull it, go round and round. Then we're going to go back underneath, pull it out with our fingers and our knuckles. Move it around, do the same thing. Try and stretch it. And we'll go through the edges again and go round and round. If any of y'all are professional pizza makers, then I'm sure you do this a lot better than I do, but this is how I taught myself to do it at home, and it works pretty well. I'm learning to do it do Neapolitan pizza style. I'm still learning, it takes some practice. Get better at it though. Alright, so it's stretching out pretty good. We're going to go back underneath, pull it again. Turn it, pull it again. Turn it, pull it again. Turn it, pull it again. All right, fix these holes here real quick. Pinch them together with the dough. Okay. And put it on our peel. Kind of stretch it over to the edges. All right. Take our sauce. A few dollops. We're going to spread it around with the bottom of our spoon to the edge, or however close to the edge that you like. I like to go almost to the edge, just leave a little rim. You don't want your pizza sauce too thick on there. You just want enough to coat. Alright, and we're going to put our cheese. There's our oven again beeping. It's back up to temperature. Alright, there's all of our cheese. Like I said, you can put as much as you like. And then we spread out our pepperoni again. Okay, like we did before, we're going to pick it up. We're going to give it a little shimmy. There we go. It moves, it's not sticking at all. So we're good to go to the oven now. Alright, we're going to open the oven. Pull out our rack. Slide our pizza on there. Shimmy it, pull it. Close her up. Turn off the oven and turn on the broiler again on high. And it'll just be a few minutes before it's done. Alright, now we got our pizza transferred to our cutting board. We're going to take a pizza cutter. You can use a knife if you like. And we're just going to go right down the middle. If you find that your pizza is a little greasy and you don't like those grease spots, just blot it with a napkin or a paper towel very gently. Okay, now we're going to turn it and we're going to go in thirds here. There we go. Turn again and go in thirds. So we're going to get 6 slices out of each pizza. Alright, let's check this next pizza, see how we're doing. Alright, I think we're good. We're going to turn off our broiler again. And we're going to take our scraper and scrape down our steel again. Alright, there's our second pizza. Now, of course, you can cook this to your personal preference. We like a little char on the crust. If you like it lighter, cook it the way you like it. And if you don't have a pizza stone or a pizza steel, you know, like I said, you can use upside down cookie sheets as long as they're high heat. You can also get pizza pans if you want to cook it on pizza pans. So however you can do it, you know, it's always fun to make pizza at home, especially with kids. They can put on their own toppings or help you make it. And there you have it, homemade pepperoni pizza. This is Jason's probably favorite meal. He loves pizza. Probably a toss-up between pizza and burgers. But if you happen to have any leftovers, easy to reheat. I like to use a toaster. If you have a air fryer, and I've seen even people put a slice of pizza in a saute pan with a lid, so with a little bit of oil. So easy to reheat if you don't want to heat up your whole oven. So we're going to dig into this. It's dinner time. So again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like these videos. God bless you and see you next time.